Of the G20 South Africa 2025.
With the Cisbes and Milane and Sherwin Bryce Spees hosting this very important segment, the opening of the G20 Leaders Summit here at our remote studio, the SABC, the host broadcaster of the G20 Leaders Summit at the Johannesburg Expo Center at Nasrec. And before we went to break, we bled into what was supposedly not meant for our ears or our eyes, but what we do know is that the leaders were imminently about to, or not adopt a leaders summit, a leaders declaration, happening at the beginning of this summit, which was news to me, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was let's waste no time. Let's get straight to it. Here's the deal. We have reached a declaration by overwhelming consensus. So let's not get that twisted. John Kirton, we have you in studio because you and the work that you do, you've styled yourselves as the Auditor General of the G20 summits and following through on the various commitments that are reached at platforms such as this one. But before we get to how we track what comes out of this summit, you are making the point a bit earlier on about moments. Sometimes these events play themselves in key moments that will ring 3, 4, 5 G20 summits later, and you believe we've lived through a moment today?
I do. I think it's the most dramatic moment in the history of the G20 summits. The first one was a long time ago. The previous record holder, the G20 summit, was created to cope with the great American-created but quickly turned global financial crisis. And at the second summit, Prime Minister Gordon Brown of the United Kingdom at the end marched and said, we've raised $1.1 trillion to deal with that. But now at the very beginning of the 20th, we've got a declaration that deals with all of the key crises and a declaration that contains clear commitments. We're about 100 in an earlier draft of it, so I suspect it'll be quite robust. And now, when the leaders get together to actually talk, well, there'll be room for more.
To the both of you, my theory is that was not a leak, as an accidental leak. There is no way at that level President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to not know that at the end of my speech, which always ends with, I thank you, or something like that, I'm supposed to pause so that the officials can tell the camera people to exit the room or something like that, switch off your cameras and microphones. I don't know. Something says to me that that was not...
I'm trying to get confirmation. So we are speculating for now, but we are trying to get confirmation. But you do make an interesting point. Normally at these events, what tends to happen is they go, we're now going to excuse the media. And then you hear the aides say, get out, take your cameras and go. And then you sometimes see a wobbly shot of the camera being removed off the tripod and off they go. But let me also just quickly... Let me very briefly. I know we have to go to our other correspondents on the ground. But the president also talked about the process that South Africa led here over the last year. 130 meetings in various parts of South Africa. We sought to undertake the task with care, dignity, and diligence. We sought to preserve the stature of the G20. We moved from the original mandate. The G20 engaged in trade, sustainable development, education, agriculture, climate, environment. We broadened the G20 scope. He was saying what South Africa did here, leading this entity. And so an affirmation that the G20 is no longer just about macroeconomic stability, market stability. It has to walk and chew gum at the same time, deal with development, because that's where the rubber needs to hit the road.
And absolutely emphasize that the scope has broadened. And also, interestingly, alluding to the words of the late former President Nelson Mandela, the time has come for South Africa to take up its rightful place in the community of nations. We take a quick break and, all right, okay.
I have, I'm not going to name the source because I don't know if he knows he's on the record or not, but I have smiley, smiley, smiley face. You are happy with it, aren't you? The fact that was leaked. So it's not like they're minding that
Yeah.
they leaked that. It sounds like you might have been right on your speculation.
There you are.
We're almost 75% confirmed.
There you are, Shawan. We're getting somewhere. Thank you for that. We'll come back with more coverage for you. You're watching SABC News. We are the host broadcaster of the G20 Summit 2025 South Africa. More with our correspondents, our full newsroom infrastructure laid out and bringing it to you live from here at Nasrec Expo Center.